right, we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Could we take roll call, please?
Ms. Atkins?
Here.
Mr. Bach?
Here.
Mrs. Peterson?
Here.
Mrs. Sandow?
Here.
Mr. Sorensen?
Here.
Mr. Sturm?
Here.
Mr. Wright?
Here. Approval of the March 16th, 2026 agenda. Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve. Second?
Vote, please.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. Commendations, good news.
So because of the late start, I was told that the music presentation won't happen tonight because they weren't able to kind of figure it out. Usually they do it right away in the morning when they have choir and band. So I said, that's fine. We can move you guys to another night. Just make sure it's not a night that we're doing budget stuff, because I think last year when we had budget stuff, we didn't know people were going to show up and talk, and we had all those kids sitting here, and I was like, oh, we'll make sure they come on a different night. So we do have kind of our winter activities wrap up here. So Ms. Schwaller and Mr. Dermody put this together for us. So girls wrestling had a wonderful year. Again this year, they were the Ridgeview. They won a tournament. Ridgeview Invite champions. They're the West Point Invite runner-ups. We had two CB Classic champions of A.S. Smith. That was our third CB Classic champions. And if you guys, I'm sure everybody here knows, but online, CB Classic's like the biggest wrestling tournament, you know, in like almost the Midwest. So it's huge. 3 state qualifiers. We had Avea, Lindsay, and Madison all qualified for state. And then we had 2 state place winners. Avea just kind of lost a heartbreaker in the championship to get second. And then Madison got 6th. And then we had one of our students made the Hawkeye 10 all-academic team, and that was Kaylin Westerfield. So, and if you look there, one of the things I do want to point out is look how many girls we have out for wrestling. So what's amazing in the state of Iowa is I believe we have the largest individual school wrestling team in the state of Iowa. So when we go to state and we compete at state, if you look at the list of teams that finish ahead of us at state, almost every single one of them is a conglomeration of schools. So it's either they take like Raccoon Valley, that's like a total of like 4 Class A schools that come together to have one wrestling team. So they have a student population of over 8,000 students wrestling on one team, and we have a student population of 1,000 students wrestling on one team. So it's pretty awesome that our girls compete the way they do and the number of girls that we have out. So I'll talk a little bit tonight about the new athletic facility and what we're planning on doing for some wrestling mats and stuff. And so, but it'll be an awesome space for these ladies and our men too. So, okay. Boys wrestling. So we had 8 individual state qualifiers: Xander Mans, Weston Porter, Garrett Bills, Owen Dufek, Mandius Valentine, Isaac Bates, Alex Gravy, and Paxton Blanchard. They were the Hawkeye 10 champions this year, and then they also qualified for regionals as a dual team. Overall, we placed 7th place at state, which is fantastic. We had 4 state place winners. Both Xander and Weston both wrestled in the championship, and both came 2 points away from a state championship, got 2nd. And then Owen got 6th, and Paxton got 4th. So fantastic year for our boys as well. I don't know that many of us had on our bingo cards that we were going to place as a team at state, and then we ended up, placing 7th. So that's pretty good. Girls basketball. Macy Vetter was kind of our all-star this year. She made the KMA all-junior team. She was an all-conference first teamer. She was an all-district. Ellie Borns was honorable mention all-conference, and the Madison Johnette was the all-KMA reserve team. They finished, it's kind of a growing season for us, and so we'll actually, is the new coach on our, not for tonight, but we did end up offering a new coach, and you guys will get that at the next meeting. So it'd be Madison Johnette's dad was offered and accepted the head girls basketball coach position. So we thank Coleman Molinex for his time. He obviously stepped away for personal reasons, and then but we'll bring in a new coach and see if we can get something rolling again with basketball. So boys basketball, they were the Hawkeye 10 runner-up with a 9-1 record. They is the first time we've made the second round in basketball since 2020. We had several postseason honors, all conference academic awards. We had 3 players there, Peyton, Carter, and Jimmy Scott. Hawkeye 10 awards, Jimmy Scott was honorable mention, Charles Shaben was second team, and then Carter Thielen was first team, unanimous selection. This is actually Carter's second year in a row as a sophomore. That's pretty good, being Hawkeye All-10, or Hawkeye 10 All-Conference. The KMA Awards, we did have the Sophomore of the Year, Carter. We had the Hawkeye 10 Elite Team. Member was Carter. The All-Junior Team, Charles Shaben made the All-Junior Team, and then All-Sophomore Team, obviously Carter made that again. So good individual year for them as well. So good all-around year, good individual year for quite a few of our athletes. So girls bowling. So a lot of highlights here for the team. Holiday tournament, they got first place. At the Monarch Baker Bash, that's second. So you can kind of look through that list. You know, a lot of first place and second place finishes. Individual highlights. Laura got all district first team. She placed 12th as an individual, and then she was also all academic all academic team KMA, and then all Hawkeye top 10 team, and then KMA all senior team. So a very good year for Laura. Kate Reed, all district first team, all academic award, KMA all senior team. Beth Rasmussen, all district first team, KMA all sophomore team. Kylie Sell, individual state, 19th place. Allie got KMA all sophomore team. Jordan got individual state. She got 23rd at state, and she was also the KMA all sophomore team. And then Caitlin got KMA freshman of the year, and then also the KMA all freshman team. So again, a very solid year for our ladies. Okay, boys bowling. Won the city tournament, won the holiday tournament, won the Red Oak tournament, got second at a few invitationals, won the Hawkeye 10, got second at districts, and then 8th overall at state. I was sitting, I'm now serving on the board, or on the rep council for the Iowa High School Athletic Association, and when I was sitting at my meeting and they showed, you know, the 24-25 champions in their latest brochure, somebody sitting next to me be like, "Oh, you guys got fantastic bowling," and I'm like, "We do have fantastic bowling." So, never known it's like, I guess we are a bowling school. So, what that was just, we had won the state championship in girls, and the year before that in the boys. So, so very successful bowling years again. All state was Brody Phillips first team, all district Brody and Zane, all state academic Brody. Zane was also all KMA bowling team, KMA Hawkeye 10, boys senior of the year, KMA all Hawkeye 10, KMA Hawkeye 10 all senior. Brody was all KMA land bowling team, KMA all Hawkeye 10, KMA Hawkeye all junior team. Aiden, KMA second team, KMA Hawkeye 10 all freshman. Gavin was KMA third team all KMA land, KMA Hawkeye 10 all junior. Braden was the KMA Hawkeye 10 all sophomore, and then Liam was KMA boys Hawkeye 10 all freshmen. So a lot of individual accolades there. Going on to swimming, state qualifiers, we had Caden, Aaron, our 200 meter freestyle team, and then our 400 meter freestyle relay as well. So had some state qualifiers. Total, we qualified in 6 events. So looking forward to continuing to grow that program as well. And then finally, we have Special Olympics. So we had 20 students, I guess not finally, but we had Special Olympics. We had 20 students participate in the regional Special Olympics basketball skills competition. So there's a lot of pictures there. So it's pretty exciting. Autumn Ritchie got first place. Taylor Cole got a second place. Blessing got a third place. And then Nevaeh got a third place as well. So four finishers at the state competition. So congratulations to those athletes. Show choir, so very successful year as well. At the Glenwood Gala, they placed third place. Our company got third place, Treble Division. Corp got 4th runner-up overall, and then also got a fan favorite. Hastings, company got second. Corp got a 4th runner-up in People's Choice. Norwalk, company got first, and Corp got 3rd runner-up overall. Elkhorn South, company got 3rd place. Corporation got 5th place runner-up overall. And then Spirit Lake, company got 2nd place, and Corp got 3rd place overall in social media award. So if you don't know, if you ever go to these competitions, the competition there is stacked. Like there are so many And we're usually by far the smallest of the stacked teams, but we go out there and we compete, so.
And we were this year because our numbers were a little on the low side, but they held their own.
Yeah, so, again, very, very competitive, walking away with hardware at every event, so very proud of them. Jazz band, at the State Jazz Festival, our Jazz 1 and 2 both earned superior ratings. At the West Side, they both earned superior ratings. At Morningside, Jazz tied for third, 1 tied for third, 2 tied for seventh. At the Lewis Central Jazz Festival, we ended up hosting 12 bands from Southwest Iowa, so that's pretty exciting. And then Sweba District Jazz Festival, Jazz 1 earned first place in 4A, and then qualified for state, and then Jazz 2 earned fourth, and then the Jazz Combo performed in the library before the 8th grade musical. So that was actually pretty cool. I got a lot of compliments from that, them being able to walk in. And just so you guys know, one of the reasons they did it was because the musical is called We Has Jazz. And my daughter was in that as well, so, and
Yep.
as was your son, so
Yep.
like, it was pretty cool to walk in and listen to jazz prior to We Has Jazz, so. Even though the son of a language arts teacher in me cringed every time I heard the title of the musical, it still, because has should not been We Has Jazz. That's not how that works, but it's okay. Speech, large district, or large group. We had a lot of superior ratings at district contests and qualified for state. For the individual district competition, we had Avery Esterling and Kittrick Wells both qualified for state. At the large group state contest, our improv group received an overall 1 rating. And then individual state contest, Avery received an overall 1 rating. And then Kittrick received also an overall 1 rating. So very proud of those groups for doing speech as well. So lots of good activities, lots of good participation. One of the things I love about the school is just the fact that there's such a wide range of activities that kids can participate in and be successful in, So kudos to our sponsors and our coaches and our athletes and really their parents for the time and dedication. So to be able to help them be successful. The teachers because there's a lot of times that our students are leaving school or gone from school or coming in late the night before, and they're showing up late for class, and they're just working around their schedules nonstop to be able to accommodate them and help them be successful in the classroom too as they continue to be successful on the stage and on the court. So, thank you.
Nice job, everybody. All right, comments and suggestions. This is the first portion of our meeting where we open the floor to any public comment that they wish to share with the board. Give it a couple minutes here for anybody online. Good, okay. We will move on then to the consent agenda. Is this an updated personnel sheet?
Yes, there are a few ads on the.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
Motion to approve is presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. Report 6.01, Curriculum, Instruction, and Assessment Report with Dr. Hartman.
All right, so tonight I want to kind of bring everything together that we've been doing with literacy. So that's been one of the board priorities, and I've shown you some different pieces of this, but I'm hoping tonight can kind of show you how all of this goes together. So as you guys know, we've been working on creating this district goal around literacy. Student behavior is another, but we're just going to focus on literacy. So we've got a clear goal going into the next couple of years, and I'll show that to you here soon. Another thing since Dr. Hazen and I have gotten here has really been to focus on how to align our buildings and get everybody rowing in the same direction. So I'm going to show you a little bit about what that looks like. And then just how our structured process of looking at curriculum review materials ties into all of this. So here's where we're at with district leadership team. And again, this has been a collaborative effort by the district leadership team to create the language and the wording around the goals. I mean, the behavior's up there, but we're really just going to look at the literacy tonight. But you can see this is our goal, 80% proficient on literacy, and that would be on all assessment measures, including our FastBridge, and then end of the year state assessments at every grade level, 80% proficiency. So we're gonna do that through strengthening Tier 1, which is like what all kids get, strengthening our Tier 1 literacy instruction and aligning it to our district literacy framework that we have. So at the bottom, this is how DLT has talked about how we're gonna measure that, specifically when it comes to the literacy goal. Because we want to know along the way, if we're not quite there, like what are some things that we might want to push on. So we're going to periodically check and look at our FastBridge data. We're going to look at some walkthrough data. We're going to take a look at how buildings have scored their literacy plans, and then looking at the professional learning plans that buildings develop around those things, just to ensure that we've got alignment and we're matching up to what we said that we were going to do. So then here is our district literacy plan. So again, I've talked about this briefly, but instead of like guessing where to focus or where to go, we have this district literacy plan that really outlines what does quality instruction look like at Tier 1? How do we provide intervention for students who need additional support? It goes into what does professional learning look like at Lewis Central when it comes to literacy? And then what does family and community engagement look like? So then each building is self-assessing. I'm facilitating that process with each of the buildings. The middle school is my last one to go. But then through that, they are looking at that plan and identifying strengths when it comes to literacy in their buildings, places that they can grow, and then aligning that process then helps them align their building goals with their district goals. So without having the middle schools yet, here's some things that we're seeing so far as buildings have scored themselves looking at our district literacy framework. So some strengths. We've done a really good job about protecting literacy instructional time. So there's research out there that talks about how much time you should get K through 5, and our buildings hit that and more. At the middle school, we're very fortunate because they've got language arts in a block. So it's very atypical, I think, of the literacy time that we have at the middle school. We're very fortunate for that. Another thing that's going really well that, again, this is from teams that have identified this within their own buildings, is the last couple of years we've implemented UFly, which is a lot of that phonics instruction that was missing. This is going really well. We're seeing some strong foundational work there, and even just in our implementation studies of this is going really well. Several of our buildings have some really good PLC structures going to support the literacy work. So that's just when groups of teachers get together and are able to look at data. And then one of the things we like to talk about, especially at the secondary level, is that literacy is the responsibility of all of us. So even if you're teaching social studies or science, we still need to care about literacy instructional practices. And the high school has identified that that's already happening in a lot of places, so that's really exciting. Some common growth opportunities that are coming up. That first one there, when you look at the research, those are the two biggest indicators. If we can grow those two things, research shows that you have the biggest chances then of improving literacy. So if we can strengthen vocabulary and that knowledge building, we will be more successful in strengthening our literacy outcomes. So that's been identified in all of our buildings so far, that those are growth opportunities for them as well. More consistent writing across content areas is a place we can grow. Continuing that professional learning, even though we've done a lot of letters training, sometimes we just need to keep coming back to it. I think we need to build it into our ongoing PD. The reading rope is a big piece of the science of reading, and even though we've done a lot of training around it, it's interesting to just see people have kind of forgotten, I think, sometimes what it means. So we need to keep coming back to some of the key components of the science of reading. And then lastly, another area for growth is to be able to use the data that we're getting from assessments to then go back and refine our tier 1 instruction. Sometimes we get busy with identifying who needs tier 2 support or additional support, but coming back to that conversation of like, but what might we want to change when it comes to tier 1 instruction is a really important conversation. So that's another area, again, that teams, as they've been going through this, have identified as places for potential growth. So this is just a visual to show you guys and just anybody else who might be viewing what this looks like, just again to get that alignment across the district. So our district leadership team has set the district goals and the direction. We now have this district literacy plan that again was like 3 years in the making, took a lot of commitment from a lot of people, but this provides the framework and expectations when it comes to literacy. Our buildings have now self-assessed using that district literacy plan. And now the next piece, it really hinges on the principals to make sure that there's follow through on this, but they need to go back to that literacy self-assessment, look at the district leadership goals, and as they support their buildings in creating those goals, make sure that it centers back on all of that work. And then that will translate into their PLCs, their groups of teachers who work together. And then hopefully we've got some nice alignment that's all centered on the work that we've collectively committed to. And then last but not least, as you guys know, we have this happening in the background as well that is really going to tie in nicely with next steps when it comes to curriculum. So the Curriculum Review Committee, we worked really hard this year. We're now at this stage where we're going to start hearing from vendors. So prior to that, we looked at recent literacy legislation. As I shared with you guys before, there's been some major updates in legislation that really focuses on pushing districts in Iowa to structure literacy as opposed to balanced literacy. That's reflected in our standards too. Those were just updated, and there's a big shift to structured literacy in there. We also started that process with looking at our data, our ISASS data and FAST data. Again, really went in depth on those new Iowa teaching standards. Looked at some of the research. We looked at staff feedback, and then we also looked at just some national evaluation tools when it comes to looking at rubrics. We use that plus all of our knowledge, and then we've created our own rubrics. So we'll start hearing from vendors here Thursday. And then our goal is to select high quality instructional materials that align with all of the work that we have been doing. So I feel good about this because we've really created a process that aligns with research, aligns with standards. And that way we've got a process that it's never going to be just what Lisa wanted, what Lisa picked for a curriculum, or for that matter, anybody on the curriculum committee. So I feel good about the direction that we're headed. So lastly, just so you guys know what comes next, we're going to continue building alignment with that goal. Now it's up to the buildings to make sure that there's alignment there. We'll support buildings in strengthening their Tier 1 literacy practices, continue that curriculum review process, and then as we go in the review process, just making sure that we've got materials that align with where we've decided that we're going to go with literacy. Any questions on any of those pieces or how any of that intersects or anything in regards to literacy at Lewis Central or what's coming next for literacy?
So who would frequently follow up with the principals then to determine how the school or the individual schools are doing?
Like as far as
Meeting their goals, how
Yeah.
frequently do you touch base with them?
Yeah, so we've built that into kind of DLTs,
Okay.
accountability process. So next year we'll kind of operate like this, like PLC, and so we'll be looking at data. We did that once this year, but we'll be looking at the FastBridge data and asking good questions about that data and coming back to what we said we were going to do as far as goals and trying to do some problem solving at that time. So it's built into DLT. Obviously, it's the responsibility of Dr. Hazen and I too to continue to have some of those conversations and check-ins and offer support where support needs to be had.
Mm-hmm.
But I think through Dr. Hazen, myself, and DLT, there's processes built in there.
This is the first year for this program, though? Well, I mean, you've been working towards it,
Yep,
but.
yeah, so we haven't had a district literacy plan before. We haven't had a goal that's been this specific about literacy and literacy growth. We haven't really had any kind of like, across the district, I guess, expectations of what it looks like to move forward with some literacy things. So yeah, this is pretty new.
So next year will be, this year's goal setting year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They create the parameters and the action steps, and then next year will be the first year that we'll have, you know, obviously we'll have our benchmarking that gets done in the fall, the winter, and the spring. And then, what'll end up happening is DLT will take the results of that, kind of break it down, and then they're ultimately responsible for coming up with a report to give to the board. We're working with a company right now that does some worksheets for us that will actually create kind of a platform that we'll have on our website that will be inputting all this data so that any one of our community members can
Okay.
go on our website, they can see, you'll be able to see strategic plan, click on our strategic plan, see how it maps out, and then you'll be able to follow along with data as well. And it'll include like action steps, like what's next, you know, some of those types of things. So, that'll be something that, once they finalize everything, Ms. Schweller and I will put together the visuals of it, probably in June, and then you guys will, I'll bring it to you guys in July to approve it, and then it'll officially be our strategic plan. So right now, we're just in the planning stages, so, but.
The only other thing I would add is that this is some of my favorite stuff because it's systems work, and I know a lot of you guys work in systems work in different occupations, but personally, I truly believe, because I've seen this, that like to have real effective, sustained change, like it takes systems work and it takes a little bit of time. And I don't know if people quite understand that the shift that's happening with literacy right now, it's a big shift. The way some of our teachers have been teaching literacy for a long time is different. It's different than what we're going to be asking them to do with structured literacy. So there's a lot of change management that goes into that as well. And so I'm just trying to be really cognizant of that too as we move into what's next, because what we're asking teachers to do, even when you change curriculum in something like literacy, because that's a big part of some people's day, that's a lot. But then it's also a big shift when it comes to switching from balanced to structured literacy. I think we put some really good things in place the last couple of years. Like most of our teachers have gone through LETRS training, which is structured literacy training. But I just also just want to be cognizant of the fact that like what we're going to be asking people to do, it's big.
And we won't necessarily see, you're not gonna see, education's a little bit different, because you won't see huge jumps in like a year, especially with, like, right now, we're not even adopting a new curriculum. We're setting the framework for which we're gonna be holding ourselves accountable. And then next year, they're going to be, selecting the curriculum that we're going to adopt, and then it'll be the next year that we select. So next year, we'll have a really good set of, essentially baseline data that we're gonna use, and then once we adopt the new curriculum, then we're gonna be able to, then we'll be able to see the impact of the new curriculum. But again, that's gonna be, you know, the first year, who knows, because when you're adopting a new curriculum, you're learning how to use it, you're learning how to implement it, you're learning how to, then the following year will be probably when we start seeing some jumps. So, but we kinda had to start somewhere, so it was like, well, let's start
Yeah.
here.
And we'll take about 3 months next year, like talking through implementation planning, because sometimes I've just seen you spend a lot of money on curriculum and you don't think through like, what data are we going to collect? How are we going to connect with teachers and see what's working? Where are we struggling? So we're going to spend about 3 months planning for that, because I just really want to make sure whatever we pick, and we'll have to invest heavily in whatever we pick. But we need to make sure that the right supports are there and that the right types of follow-through are there. So it'll take a little bit of time to make sure we do it all right too.
Are you
So-
feeling, oh, go ahead.
If we're changing this and the teachers are having to change, I guess I want to make sure that the parents are instructed of what's going on. Because when Lewis Central, or I'm going to say, I think maybe statewide, went to the core math thing, that was a disaster. It did not go well for me. It did not go well for my daughter's teachers. I mean, the whole thing was a failure. And I would say that even as of today, core math is a failure. So I would like to know, is this leading us down a path of core math?
Well, I'm going to disagree with you on the math thing. I might have thought that from an outsider, but I have got to see the math from kindergarten all the way through 12th grade, and it is very different from how you and I learn math. It teaches kids problem-solving skills that they can use not just in math, but in other areas. It's quite frankly pretty amazing to see it when you get to see it from kindergarten, here's how it builds and here's how it builds. But that's a topic for a different day. But yes, I think we can definitely do some things to educate our parents, talk to our parents. I mean, they've seen some of it already with some of our UFly curriculum. That's a lot of science of reading behind that, but we can absolutely
The
talk
basis
about
I'm
that.
going off of is a child will never get a better teacher than their parents. And if the parents don't understand what's being implemented and can't help them at home, it does the students very little good. So that's where my lack of enthusiasm with core math would come
Well,
from.
it'd be great to have engaged, involved parents like you all over the place.
I would say that from experience with my youngest, with UFly, it has been very good for him, especially this year. We've seen a lot of progress. Now, granted, we do other things outside of school as well for him, but I mean, it's been very instrumental in him and getting him where he's not quite there yet, but we're building on it.
Yeah.
And that's good to see.
Yeah.
Getting back kind of to the literacy thing, where does the dyslexia plan come into play with all of this that the state of Iowa now requires the schools have?
So all of the teachers have to go through the dyslexia training, so
Okay.
we're tracking some of that. And then I think we've got a little bit of time to build in some of the dyslexia language into the plan, but
Okay.
we'll integrate that into our plan as well.
Into this existing one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Any other questions? And again, this will be a conversation. That's one of the reasons why this year, for the first time, I asked Dr. Hartman to kind of give a report once a month, is because as we move forward, this will be a natural opportunity for her to give regular updates on our strategic plan, because that's really where we need to head is these updates right now. Like, she'll come and be like, so what do you want me to talk about? And I'm like, I don't know, how about this? But in the future, like, to your point, like, that'll be something that'll be brought to the board table on a regular basis is update, and we'll be able to have visuals, we'll be able to say, now sometimes it'll be like, this was not a non-data, we didn't collect a lot of data this month, but, here's some of the feedback we're getting from teachers, this is where we're sitting with our implementation of our new curriculum, or this is where we're sitting with, in regard to going through the curricular review process, so, but everything will kind of revert back to, this is where we kind of sit with our strategic plan. Some months it might be more heavy on literacy, some months it might be more heavy on where we currently sit with our like disciplinary data and that kind of stuff. So, but again, it'll all be very focused, but it's taken some time to, without having a strategic plan here, it's taken some time to kind of develop what that is and then be able to give some clear goals to it and be able to report on it on a timely and consistent basis, so.
I just have one final question for you. So for a process like this, like you talked about change management, for a process that takes this long, how do you keep the excitement in there of embracing the change, or are you finding difficulties with that, with a long drawn-out process like
Excitement's
this?
an interesting word. It's challenging in different buildings because we've got one building that's got really great results, but they're using a curriculum that's no longer supported at the state level. So that's a different type of, processing that they're going through. I don't think that they would use the word excitement when it comes to this.
Fair. Okay.
And then we've also had some curriculum in some places that people have used for a really long time. And so I think you have to honor where people are at. And I think too, this longer on-ramp is allowing people to experience the feelings that they're feeling. I mean, it honestly is sometimes like the stages of grief. And so I'm not sure we're at the excitement stage yet. I think once we pick something, there's some really good pieces of curriculum, and I think even people that sit on the curriculum review committee don't quite know what's out there. For a long time, we have stepped outside of our curriculum in lots of different areas because it has not met our needs. And I think once the curriculum committee sees some of the curriculum that's out there, and how they're supporting all of these different areas that we've been looking for, I think at that point, then I think we can start to see some of the excitement and kind of roll and build off of that.
The other thing is just remember, like, right now, there's small groups working on this, so it's not building-wide or district-wide, so once that rolls out, then we're gonna have a whole nother level of excitement, so it'll be an exciting time, so.
I appreciate the air quotes.
Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
I know, I feel like you're mocking me now.
No, I'm not. Exciting is it's a good word, I like it. I prefer that one, I'm a positive person, so.
So what is
Shock
the
and awe.
huge difference between, is there a huge difference between the way it's being done now and the structured?
Yeah, so like Mr. Bach was talking about, what we're doing right now with UFly, it's basically like, most kids need to learn the code of learning how to read.
Yeah.
Some kids don't, that's not a lot of kids. Some kids don't ever need the code, and they're just the exposure, they get used to it. Some of the balanced literacy curriculum provides a lot of exposure. It's asking a lot of what I would say like comprehension questions, but if you understand the reading rope, there's lots of different pieces like vocabulary, building background knowledge. All of those things have to exist to be able to get a kid to a place where they can comprehend text. So structured literacy is really looking at all of those pieces of the reading rope and building it into the curriculum. And then oftentimes it's like building, even through the years, it's building upon itself, where sometimes balanced curriculum isn't doing that. Structured literacy also, the research talks about reciprocity with writing and reading. You need to be doing both kind of interchangeably, and sometimes in our balanced literacy curriculum, we have a reading block, and then separately we've got a writing block that have nothing to do with each other. Those are just a few, I could go on and on. Those are just a few things. So there's some significant kind of basic changes, but again, I think sometimes teachers are like, here we go, the pendulum's swinging. But I just came across something the other day, and it's like, it's not the pendulum swinging, it's just like we're responding to the research. There's some really, really great research that's out there about how kids learn how to read, and now we have some materials that kind of follow along with how kids learn how to read.
So it's more like tools, essentially? Okay.
Yeah, so like I can give you an example. So my daughter, Reese, my middle daughter, she learned one way to read at one school and then learned another way to read at another school. So like at the one school, they were really heavily focused on phonics,
Yeah.
breaking down the individual words, the sounds of words, and then she goes to a new classroom and it was very heavy on like reading context clues, like even at a young age, like basically, kind of going through, like reading a sentence, and if you didn't know a word, you skipped it, you read the rest of the word, and you then based upon the rest of the sentence, you try to guess what that word was, and then make sense of the. So then when I'd sit down to read with her, she wasn't sounding out anything. She was like, she'd just fly through the whole thing. She was reading really fast, and by and large, she was reading fairly well. And if you didn't really understand like phonics, I'd be like, wait a minute, you skipped this word. And she's like, yeah, I didn't know it, so I skipped it and moved on, So like, those are two very different strategies. So
Yes.
in the one side where you've taught students the one strategy of just skipping words, moving on, and then making sense of it at a later time. And now we're saying we're no longer doing that. Now we're gonna go and you're gonna know every single word that you read. That's a totally different teaching strategy. So it is like, and like you said, it's not as crazy as the math stuff, we're gonna go from one to the other. It's probably honestly more consistent with how, like, I grew up learning to read, which is you learn to read every single word and you sound everything out, so it's probably almost like taking a step back to almost how we originally learned how to read, at least I did, very phonics focused, very,
But right now, we're not doing the phonics focused as much?
Well, the last couple of years, we've integrated UFly, and it is making a
Okay.
difference.
I asked because
But there's a lot of curriculums anymore where like, that's just part of their curriculum. So then we could start using UFly as like an addition or put it in an intervention class or something like that. But most curriculums now include what UFly offers, and it makes
Okay.
a big difference. But it's
We
things like.
brought on the electronic version this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but like Dr. Hazy was saying, I mean, it's one thing to teach the alphabet to kids, but it's another thing to then teach them the sounds, like not just letter sounds, but then how do sounds come together with multiple letters together? How do you blend sounds? You know, and in a balanced literacy curriculum, that's sometimes overlooked, where in structured literacy, we are making sure, because that's the code, that once
Yeah.
kids can crack that code, now they can start to be a little bit more fluent.
Well, and I was in Miss Gradville's class just volunteering, but she was doing what you're saying
Yeah,
already.
yeah.
So I wonder if it won't be too crazy of a change. It's more of just a little extra tool to help the kids.
Well, that's a great point, because the feedback on UFly has been so positive.
Yeah.
Very positive. Teachers have liked it, I think, for the most part. Feedback's been very positive, so you're right, that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Common Core math is challenging though. It's something you have to
So
relearn.
with all the research that's being done, I don't know where we stack up within the state. But are we researching what school number 1 and number 2 are doing?
Yeah, I've actually reached out to several different districts, and I brought it into our DLT, but I can honestly tell you the number one thing that these schools are doing different is when they look at their data, they are going back to tier 1, and they're talking about what do we need to do differently instructionally. And I think sometimes schools miss that, and it's not just us, it's a lot of schools, because we've been trained to look at your data, identify the kids who aren't meeting, you know, grade level standards or these skills, and then come up with who needs to get an intervention, and let's talk about how to provide that intervention. And sometimes it's just missed of like, okay, but we need to go back to tier 1 and talk about, is there something that we're gonna do for all kids that looks a little bit different? The districts that are showing a lot of success, they are doing that, they're having that conversation. And they've also, in the last couple of years, changed their curriculum.
Any other questions for Dr. Harden? Thank you. All right, moving on to 6.02, finance report with Ms. Rice.
So for March, I have our March financial statement, or sorry, our February, our February financial statements. They were in your board packet. Everything seems to be going on track. I have a lot of other things, so unless anybody has any questions, I won't dive into this. The Iowa Association of School Boards came out with their own fund summary sheet. I sent it in an email to you guys this afternoon. So this one is very similar to the one that ISPIS came out, so I just wanted to give you another tool. I personally prefer the ISPIS one, but somebody might like this one better, so I sent this one out as well. The one positive is this one is blue, our colors, versus the other one is very colorful, so.
So there's no difference between those charts?
The data is all the same. It has all the governmental funds there. You have your revenues, your expenditures, and just the summaries of those, and then the other couple of funds down below, like your proprietary and your fiduciary, but all the other funds there are in the middle. So
Okay.
same data, just a different way to look at it. Kind of similar to math, like Common Core and
You know what
our
I'm thinking?
math.
I'm thinking about how much they spent paying somebody to come up with this one when the other one was just fine.
Well, it's two different,
That's what I'm thinking
it's
about.
two different organizations, so
That's where my math comes in.
they're competing organizations, so they're trying to make one better than the other.
Just to be clear, we spent no money developing.
Yeah,
these, so this
yes,
is not our
I
deal.
copied and pasted and push send on an email to you. All right, so one of the things that I wanted to touch on in a little bit more detail before we move on in our budget process these coming weeks is our taxable valuation history. So obviously, our taxable valuation is the specific dollar amount that is used to calculate our property taxes, and this does take rollbacks and exemptions into consideration. The other thing to keep in mind on this is that this is per 1,000, so there's technically 3 more zeros at the end of all of these numbers. But as you can see, I put our 10-year history of our taxable valuation, and we have more than doubled in our taxable valuation. And in this last year, we also had a 16.84% increase. So some pretty distinct increases up there. The other thing to keep in mind is it says year 2025. That is the taxable valuation year that we'll be using for our fiscal year 27 budget. So the one that we'll be approving here. So it is 2 years in the rears. With that increase, Lisa, if you'll go to the next chart. Our taxable valuation obviously is made up of residential, ag, commercial, and industrial, railroad, and utility. Our biggest ones are residential and commercial and industrial. So I'm going to focus a little bit on those two groups or classifications as they're called. In 2015, about 56% of our valuation was residential, and our commercial and industrial was 37%. In 2025, our commercial and industrial is now 54%, and our residential is 43%. So what that means is that our commercial and industrial are paying a larger portion of our property taxes than our residential is. So that is a very good thing to take into consideration when we are looking at our levies, is that majority of that is going on to our commercial and industrial and not to our residential. So on this chart, the dark blue is our residential. The kind of Columbia blue is the commercial and industrial. And your ag and railroad and utility are on there. They're very hard to see because they are very minimal, obviously less than 5% of our total there. And the total valuation is the dark line. So you can see as that has increased, our commercial and industrial have increased more steadily than the actual. And our residential has kind of leveled off on there. So with that, we will be taking that into consideration when we are looking at our budget timeline and when we're presenting our budget at our first public hearing. So those statements, the county did mail them out, and they are officially in mailboxes today. So everyone should have their taxpayer statement either today or hopefully tomorrow. We will then be publishing that in the Nonpareil on Thursday, and it will also be on our website and social media that same day. So our first public hearing will be April 6th at 6 p.m. prior to the start of our regular board meeting. The other thing that I wanted to make a note of, because this was brought up last year when we had this, but the Potawatomi County public hearing will be March 31st at 10 a.m. And the City of Council Bluffs public hearing will be March 23rd at 6 p.m. So both of those take place before our public hearing, but the way that we are listed on the sheet, schools are listed first. So I wanted to draw everyone's attention to that as well. I have not seen anybody's sheet yet, but I have been told that they do look a little bit different. So at the public hearing that day, I will be taking a look at a couple of sheets and then presenting what their actual increase will look like based on their actual information instead of just a summary sheet. So I'll take that in before we open it up, but then we'll open up the floor for the public hearing shortly after that.
Yep, so just a reminder to those watching out there, the county one was
March 31st at
March
10 a.m.
31st. Okay, so if you have any comments, concerns, questions about county roads, anything like that, that'd be a good one to go to. And then if you have any concerns about city roads or city work, then it would be on
March 23rd at 6
March
p.m.
23rd. So
Yes.
I know there was some confusion last
And
year.
just to clarify, they will not be meeting here.
They will
correct?
not be meeting here,
Okay.
no. So just to clarify, because last year we had quite a few people showing up and expressing their concerns about city roads and county roads. And I was unable to help them, so I felt bad about that, but just want to make sure we clarified that. We will only be talking about school-related things at our budget hearing, so.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any questions from the board about the valuations or next steps in the budget?
I don't think so.
Well, the big jump was because of the assessed values, right? From 24 to 25.
Yes, partially, well, that's in the residential, but the residential, that increase was only about 6 or 7% of ours, and then the rest of that was from the commercial and industrial. As you can see on this chart, that Columbia blue line between 24 and 25 is pretty significant. So
So the next slide, it goes from 127 to 300, is that right?
yeah, so our increase this past, yes, was 300 and
But that was because of the assessed property?
only 7% of that is from that. 7% of that, 16%.
And
So
the
about
rest of- and the
10%
rest
is
of it
coming
was
from commercial and an industrial.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Ms. Race. We'll move on to 6.03, Superintendent Report with Dr. Hazing.
So I did, Dr. Hartman, I sent you an email with some things. I'm actually gonna come and switch you seats so I can kind of navigate this, because I'm gonna flip through if that works for you. Go back, go to that one, because that one also has the, open all three of those if you can. And then, all right, perfect. And then I'll switch you seats.
Just make sure you turn on your mic.
Yes.
I'm telling you, it did not work out very well for that teacher.
I'm gonna make you a believer.
All right. Oop, let me put that on. Okay, so, oops. So a couple things. First of all, just so everybody knows, I'm going to be doing a State of the Union. I do that usually at this time of the year where I go around and talk to all the individual. And once we'll kind of have a budget and we have our wages set and the state has given us an SSA increase, that's where I'll start going around to each employee group and having a short presentation that I do with Mrs. Reyes, and we talk about where our current, kind of where we stand currently as far as finances goes. You know, what kind of raises we're given, what kind of increases we gotten for the state, what our budget's doing, so people can see the real numbers and know that, oh, this is why the raise is what it is, or this is kind of the money that we're getting. I do it every year, so that way when we have good years, then we can celebrate, and then when we have tough years, it's, you know, I can say, remember last year when I came and said that we had an increase, and then this year we have a decrease, you know, like I can just at least share that, so then it's always on top of our mind. I don't ever want to get to a situation where all of a sudden we have to make cuts, people are surprised, you know, or we're adding a bunch of staff or something like that due to student population, and people are surprised at that as well, you know, that we're spending more money. I want to make sure that we're having these conversations on a yearly basis. So we'll meet with each employee group separately. So I've already got meetings set up for like the high school certified, we'll do certified and classified at the same time. I'll go meet with all the paras here in one day. I'll go down and meet transportation and custodial in one day. I'll go meet with our cooks. I'll have them come in one day. So just kind of meet with everybody. So just FYI. End of the year celebration, if anybody is interested in coming to that, that's May 26th. I want you guys to get that on your calendar now if you can. We'll do that at the morning. We'll have breakfast in the morning, and then we'll have, we're doing things a little bit different. In the past, we would have each organization that we partner with would come up and kind of give, you know, a short rundown of the year and thank the staff for everything that they've done. However, this year, because we had some of those conversations in the past that kind of got away from us a little bit, as far as they're supposed to be like a 2 to 3 minute like, hey, this is some highlights for a year, and then this is, you know, so thank you, and some of them would creep from 2 to 3 to like 12 to 13. They would kind of add a 1 in the front, so they got pretty lengthy, so we're going ahead and instead making a video, that's what we're doing, right? Yeah, a video of them kind of giving some updates and stuff, so we can kind of keep that, so we can get, because at the end of the year, believe it or not, all people want to do is work in their classrooms so they can clean up their classrooms, get their grading done, and then get out, right? So for us to have a 2-hour-long presentation, it's like, it could be pretty painful. So we want to honor them, we want to say thank you, we want to get together, and then we want to send them on their way. So so those meetings will start about 8:15, 8:30, so you can put that on your calendar. If you want breakfast before, you can come early. SIAC, which is our School Improvement Advisory Committee, we're setting a date of June 9th on that. So if you're one of the people that were on our SIAC committee, and then in 2 meetings, I'll bring you the updated list of people who are we're gonna make a recommendation of the board for who's gonna be on SIAC. What's that?
You say the 8th or the 9th?
The 9th, June 9th, yep. And then if you guys have any recommendations, people that you think would be good to serve on the SIAC committee, you know, let me know and I'll add them to the email. So, we usually ask for a 2-year commitment from them, so we'll have it 2 years in a row. And then the next thing I was gonna touch base on is our overall bond, budget. So this is pretty much the same thing. We've just kind of stayed stagnant right now. We're making some payments on stuff, but overall, as you can see, you know, we're still trending very well, still about $1.3 million under budget. So that's good, and that includes, but as we move forward, obviously, you know, we're hoping, you know, that's going to be a good contingency for us as we move forward and go through the middle school renovation, because we know that's going to be a fairly complex one. I do not believe, though, that this one includes the middle school parking lot yet. No, it doesn't. So you can add another, you know, $200,000 or so, $250,000 to that final number, and then it doesn't include the athletic building either. And so we know those numbers are going to be coming on Thursday. So on Thursday, we're going to have our athletic building this Thursday, which means that next Monday we're going to have a special meeting to approve those or that bid. If I could, I'd like to have you guys, I don't know what time would be an appropriate time to meet for that meeting. Is 5:30 work? Do you guys want to do it a little bit later? Do you want to do it early morning? Just a little feedback on when you guys want to have that special meeting.
The only item on the agenda?
It'll be that, and it'll be wrestling mats. It'll just be athletic building focus. We got to get the mats ordered as well too. So
I like mornings.
mornings. I mean, early morning. If we did like a 7 a.m., does that?
As long as we could call in, yeah.
Yeah.
Not an
I'd say
issue.
I can call.
Yeah,
Okay.
7's good for me if we can call in.
I'm out of town.
You're
I'm
out of-
flying in the
okay.
morning, so.
Okay. Are you good with us having it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Yep.
So maybe we'll set it at 7 a.m. if we can do it on Monday. I know Andrea's like, yes, love that. I love that for us. So, so next we have, sorry, my list. One of the things I do want to talk a little bit about here is the athletic building, and I'm going to zoom in here. So one of the things that came, can I do it like this? I can do it like that. Nice. Okay. So one of the things that we discussed, if you look right here, is we had built into the athletic building this mezzanine, and this mezzanine area was going to be where we store the mats that go on the floor here in the off season, right? So the mats are going to be down during wrestling season, then it's going to come up and it's going to be utilized for everybody during the non-wrestling season. When we started to stack up, I think there's 26 mats that go up in this area here. And the downside of that is it takes up almost the entire mezzanine, because this area you have to leave forward, because the system that they were trying to figure out was going to essentially have a mounting, because this mezzanine is suspended from the ceiling. It was going to have a mounting bracket here that goes to the ceiling, and then a mounting bracket here that goes to the ceiling. And then this area was going to be open. So you would essentially roll up 3 or 4 of these mats at a time. You would hoist them up to here, and then you see the beam, it would be a sliding mechanism that would have the beam come this way, and we're gonna try to make it, I had made the recommendation that's motorized, because I don't need people leaning across here and grabbing it and pulling it over. And in talking about this system, it got me really nervous about, like, geez, storing mats up there, you know, like, because I don't want, I mean, if you can put 3 mats at a time, or even 4, you're talking about 6 or 7 times that these mats have to come up and down just to put them up there one time. And so one of the questions that came up was, what if we looked at something a little bit different, and instead of doing 6, because these have to be 6-foot sections when you buy these flex mats, they're 6-foot sections, they're lighter, so they can be stored on a mezzanine. Instead of doing that, what if we go back to the regular mats and we only have 4 big sections of regular mats, and you can hoist them. It's called the mat lifter. So we're gonna have to buy this either way. It'll either be one mat like this that you would lift, you know, 1 section up in the air, or you list three little sections up in the air. It's about 6 foot long, and then that's what you would use. Or you could utilize what's called a double big mat lift, and this would be like 2. These can hold a 42 by 42 section of mat. Okay, so it's 42 feet long, which is a pretty sizable mat. Okay, so essentially you roll these onto like a tarp, and then you clamp them above, and then you hoist it up to the ceiling. So one of the ideas was, and originally I loved the mezzanine idea, because besides storing mats, you could store a lot of other stuff up there. But then when you look at this, you really can't store anything else up there. You got mats, and then you need this open place right here to be able to hoist the mats up into. So the alternative idea was to essentially eliminate the mezzanine, have 2 mat lifts, which we could slide these into this corner down here, or this corner up here, or you could go 1 here and 1 here, and you would just do 2 mats here and 2 mats here, and you can hoist them 20 feet off the ground, and then they're done. You don't have to have people reaching over a mezzanine to pull them onto. You don't have to unload them. You have to do anything. Just raise them up and be done. And so these lifts are about $25,000 a piece, but the other lift is $25,000, about $20,000 as well. So you'd replace one $20,000 lift for 2 $25,000 lifts, but you would be eliminating the mezzanine, and you'd be eliminating potentially this staircase right here. So this stairwell right here leads, in the original drawing, this is an encased stairwell, so it's all blocked up. It's almost 2 stories high, or 2 levels high, because you have 1 level here that gets you onto the athletic or this meeting room for some storage, and then you have another level then which takes you to the mezzanine level. Well, if you're eliminating the mezzanine, you don't need 2 levels of staircase. You actually don't even need this enclosed staircase. You could switch it and have kind of a one staircase up here to this, and then you're done. So you're saving money by eliminating a second set of stairs, and by eliminating the mezzanine, which could be a sizable deduction. And then you're eliminating the 1 lift, and then instead you're replacing it with 2 lifts, and you're just getting the mat off the ground, and then you're done. So overall, this would save us money in the grand scheme of things to do it this way. Originally, I wasn't a fan of eliminating the mezzanine. However, if we can't use it for anything else, it doesn't make any sense anyway. So, this would be a much safer alternative than having people try to unload and move mats up on that narrow mezzanine. So, I guess, what are your thoughts? What are your feedback on that?
Did we have any roof access from that stair?
There was not, no.
Okay. And then the second one is, if we're not gonna utilize that mezzanine space for storage, are we gonna have enough space underneath the bleachers to store all those things that we talked about?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
Yep, the only thing we would probably do is we'll add some temperature control mechanism in there, so there'll probably be a mini split unit on the football, because that's where they'll store a lot. The concern was they need a temperature control area, because a lot of their stuff is vinyl and elastic, so when you get the extreme temperatures, like we have this week, where it's -20 one day and 100 the next, that those fabrics can become brittle. So by temperature controlling those areas, I think we could put in that mini split, do this and still be money ahead than if we did the than if we did the original plan, which would be the mezzanine, the staircase, and then the one lift.
We lose the fifth mat, though? Didn't we have 5 originally?
There's 5 circles,
Okay,
5 circles, but it's only 4 mats.
just 4 mats. Okay.
Yep, 4 really big mats.
Okay,
Yep,
got it.
really big, really heavy mats.
And then you'll still have the office space on the other side, right?
Correct, yep.
Okay.
And the other benefit I thought to this is if there was something that goes on in the summer where you'd want to lower a mat down and put a mat down, like let's say we're having a camp or something like that, and you wanted to do a 2-day camp or something like that, if they're all up in the mezzanine, that's gonna be, I mean, it's gonna be a haul once a year to try to get mats up and down off that mezzanine versus this. You could flip a switch, the mats could lower, you could roll one out, wrestle, and then roll it back up and put it back in the ceiling. So really anybody could do that. It would be a much more feasible project. The other thing that we're bidding out right now is mats, obviously, for the big area here. Mats for this area here. We would reuse the mats in the wrestling room over at the middle school and then move the middle school mats to the high school. And the reason we do leave the middle school ones, because those are our competition ones. We leave the competition ones at the high school, so we're not hauling them back and forth. So, and the ones out of the current wrestling room would resign full-time at the middle school, because those kids just jump on them and beat the heck out of them. So, so it'd be great to put some used mats over there, and they would use that. And then there's also wall padding that goes all the way around the walls here. This is just for both, basically all activities. It's not just wrestling wall padding, but if you're going to do, and then there's wall padding on this side as well that goes all the way around. So the bids that you guys will get next week will include the wall padding and the wrestling mats themselves. And then I'm also finalizing with the wrestling coaches, our wrestling fundraiser. So be on the lookout. We're going to do a cool wrestling fundraising donor wall to try to recoup quite a bit of the cost of these mats. So for as little as $100, you can get your name on the wall for all time to show that you're a supporter of Lewis Central Wrestling. And the more money that you donate, the bigger that name gets. So on the wall. So
For those mats, what would be the clearance underneath them once they're lifted?
like 20 feet.
Okay, because I'm thinking if we had, so right now on that other side, we have indoor batting cages that we use, like the net. Would we be able to put them on that side underneath those as well?
So all the batting cages are actually going to move up to Titan Hill. We've already moved them up there.
Okay,
Yep.
so like the indoor one too?
The indoor ones, yep.
All right,
So are we gonna need another lift on the other side?
It's the other side. Remember, this side, they're down full-time unless a football team comes, and then we're just gonna roll them up against the wall. So for our visiting teams, we're just
Like
gonna
they
roll
do
them against the
already.
wall. There's really no clearance. That's only like maybe an 18-foot high ceiling, and they gotta hang down 9 feet. So they would be only suspended a little ways above your head. So over here, this is a 30-foot tall ceiling, and so they have to hang down 9 feet. So it'd be,
21.
roughly 20 feet off the ground. The mezzanine itself was going to be 20 feet off the ground, so there wouldn't be any change in height from what the mezzanine was to what these are going to be, as far as when they hang down.
I mean, I think I like that idea better, only because I can't imagine somebody not falling off of that mezzanine. I mean, it's one step,
Yeah.
and that first step's a doozy.
It's a 20-foot doozy,
Uh-huh.
correct?
And
Well, and that makes me nervous too. Those mats are heavy.
absolutely.
So what's the life expectancy of those lifts? Like, what does that look like for further down the line, I guess?
They're similar to like our basketball lifts.
Okay.
Like, it's a motor and a cabling system.
Yeah.
And, they last 10 to 20 years with minimal maintenance, so.
Okay.
When they burn out, it's usually like we've replaced cables or we'll replace the motor of it. So you can just,
Not like a crazy expense though.
they're not. No, once you get them installed, the expensive part is getting them installed because they
Yeah.
got to mount them, they got to run electrical, they got to do. So,
Balance the weight. Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I wouldn't mind those in my gym.
Yeah.
it really a one-person ordeal, like with rolling them up, getting them on there, 1 to 2 people? Like,
Oh, these mats are huge. It'll be like 6 people to roll
Okay.
up the mat, yeah. I'm saying one person can flip the switch
Yeah.
to lower it
Yeah.
versus, yeah. But.
It wouldn't be, so another thing for me, safety-wise, it would obviously be like the coaches taking them down or,
Correct.
Okay.
Actually, it'll probably be a mixture of they'll probably, at the end of the wrestling season, they'll probably have the kids, in my mind,
Yeah.
they'll probably have the kids roll them up tight, like they know how to do.
Yep.
And then they'll all get them to that place, and then, our maintenance guys will then lead it from there, and our
Okay.
maintenance guys will because basically, it's much safer than the mezzanine, because all they have to do is get them to that place, and then our maintenance guys will hook it up to the cables, make sure everything's fastened securely, and then our guys will be the ones that push the button to raise it to the ceiling, versus having them roll 26 mats onto a tarp,
Yeah.
raising it up, pulling it over onto the mezzanine, putting it down, setting these things up at the end, walking, it just is I think it's a much better solution, so. And that was originally, I didn't realize they were gonna take up so much space. I thought maybe they would, I don't, maybe cram them in the corner over here, or at least this corner, and then we could have shelving here. But the way that they've laid it out for me, I mean, you can see from the end of this yellow line to here, I mean, that's probably all the space you're gonna have, and that's no storage anyway. You can't, barely walking space.
well, you have
so.
to roll those up just right too, to even get them through there. And
Correct.
so if you mess one up, yeah.
So.
So the other thing for me too is the way that they raise it, a kid can't just walk up and push the button. It's gonna be like in a,
Oh, it'll be a key system.
okay.
Yeah.
Out of
Just
sight,
thinking about
out of
all the
mind.
things
Yep.
kids
Yeah.
might do.
It'll be probably a keyed system that looks like it's in
Okay.
like a junction box that's like
Yeah.
that'll also be keyed to get into that. So you'd have to have 2 keys to even get at it, so.
Two nuclear keys.
2
Turn 'em
nuclear
at the
keys, same time.
Yep.
With a code.
Yep.
Yeah, voice activated, facial recognition.
Fingerprints.
It's gonna be
perfect.
hardcore. That's where all the price comes
Some
in,
kids
you
will
know.
be-
We could do it for way cheaper, but,
So if it's hanging at 21 feet, and then, 3 feet for the mat, so now you're at 18
Mhm.
to the bottom of the mat, does that interfere with any other activities?
It's only 2 feet lower than what the mezzanine would be, so it's not, and if we can put it back against, close against that wall, I don't think it's gonna interfere anything, so. They'll still get to be able to, I mean, if,
Well, 'cause does it have to go in that, where the mezzanine was going to go?
that's what's gonna be my preference, is either, it'll be one side or the other. The door is over here right now, so probably won't go on this side. But like, you could really put it anywhere along the wall, if it's over here or if it's over here. My thought was maybe one here and one here, and tuck them as close to the wall as you could, and then you have this whole space that's wide open, so.
Well, that makes sense too, if they're gonna be rolling them up and they're gonna be in, in those areas anyway, because those mats over time do break down and they get nicks in them, and
Yeah.
the less you're moving them, the
Well,
better.
so that's the nice thing. So originally, we were gonna do, when we were gonna stack them up here, these were the flex mats. So these are the ones that are like, it's a real light foam in the bottom, and then it's just a thin layer of vinyl on top. So there's like a one-sided mat. You're not able to flip them, so you get a cut in the vinyl, the cut's in the vinyl, like, you can't do anything about it. We would actually switch these out with the classic mat.
Okay.
So then they're reversible. You can have on one side competition circles and reverse it to have practice circles on the other side, which is the difference between 5 large circles or 30 small circles. One side gets cut over time, you can flip it and have the other side's fresh and ready to go. So you almost get twice the life expectancy out of it. And if you ask the kids prefer to wrestle on them because they're a little bit softer. And
Yeah.
so, but they are a little bit more expensive, so we have to factor in it's about 17,000 more to have the classic mat versus the flex mat. But I still think we're money ahead by eliminating the mezzanine and the staircase. So I think it's,
Well, I think I kinda like the idea of going like one and then one, instead of next to each other. Otherwise, you're gonna have to drag 40 feet of mat to the one end,
Right.
yeah.
or you know, and it doesn't matter if it's up where the mezzanine is or where it's parallel to the building, or if you would come down that, what would it be, the
Well, and
west side?
And
east side?
honestly, what I'm gonna see what they end up doing is I wanna see how they have it laid out, because there's a possibility that we may end up doing like one here on the far end and then the other on the far end, because if they're laid out where you roll them this way, I don't have to roll them and then turn them
Yeah.
and then move them over here. So
Right.
how the mats lay out, that's the nice thing about the two lifts is if the mezzanine is a mezzanine, you can't move the mezzanine, but you can move these lifts wherever you want. And I want to make it as convenient as possible when you roll these things up, that here's the landing spot, so. And as long as they're tucked far enough against the wall, it doesn't hurt, I mean, you can do whatever, so. Okay, any other questions, concerns, comments about that? Nope. And I do think that's the extent of my presentation, so.
Okay.
I can switch back with you now. I don't know where your presentation was.
All right, we will move to 7.01. Service agreement for Medicaid billing.
Okay. So service agreement for Medicaid billing. So we've been using a company called Timberline for years. So basically what they do is for Medicaid billing, when we have students that are on IEPs that have disabilities, we are able to, based on their services, it could be the amount of time that they need a school nurse or their transportation, that we are able to bill back for those services. And this is students that are Medicaid eligible, which is actually quite a few. We recoup probably $500,000 a year in Medicaid funding, and a company called Timberline has been who a lot of school districts use to process these claims, and they take a cut like 6%. And they moved from being their own company. They were acquired by another company called Relay, and so Relay is going to take over for them, but we have to have a service agreement with them. So our fees haven't changed, the contacts really haven't changed, process really hasn't changed. If anything, we like the site, the functionality of the site and the program better than what Timberline had. So we think it's actually going to be overall a better experience and easier for us to process. So really no change though from what we were using before.
Any questions? Okay, 7.02, high school security improvements.
So this is, so as part of the bond, what we said we were gonna do is make sure all of our camera systems were updated, all of our doors had, alarms and codes on them products on them that would alert us if they were open, like when they're not supposed to be opened. The high frequency doors would have all have door access, which we had a lot of door access before, but now, like the few doors that we had, the people are using keys on a regular basis. Now we're going to switch those to access cards. And really the reason is we want to get away from as many exterior keys as possible, because when you give a key out, then they can keep giving it out, and then you don't know who has it at the end. Versus if you have a card, I can give my card to Director Bach, and he can use it, and it says Dr. Hazing, and somebody's like, well, wait a minute, Dr. Hazing wasn't using it, and they can just right now shut it off. You know, be like, oh, somebody's got Dr. Hazing's card, I'm going to shut it off. Can't do that with a key. So, so going through this process, the one we did Creft before, we did Titan Hill so far. So we did Creft last summer, we did Titan Hill, and now this summer we're looking to do the high school security improvements. And you'll also receive two others. One is we're doing that door project at Titan Hill, and as part of that door project, we're going to be replacing a lot of our access systems, and then we're also going to be putting door contacts on all those doors. And so I'll have another bit of that. They're currently going through the review process, our architects are right now, to ensure that the plan that Prime has in place for that matches what we're actually doing with the doors, because we did eliminate some exterior entrances on the Titan Hill doors. Now they're more of a static door, like an exit only, or we eliminated the door altogether, and now it's like a big window. So we want to make sure that they all match up. So I'll bring that to the next meeting. Same thing with like the athletic building. There's going to be some new stuff on there, and then the middle school as well. We'll get their update, but that again, that's going to have to match up with what they're doing, because we don't want to have Prime come in and install something and then it gets torn out and we have to reinstall it again. We want to make sure it all happens with the renovation. We do know that the high school, we're pretty much done with any kind of major renovation that's going to involve doors, so we're ready to do this. So if you look at the Prime contract, if you scroll down, keep going. This is a large building, and this also was like holds some of our oldest cameras. So essentially what we did is you can see all the different category or all the different areas there that are getting, and if you scroll up a little bit, up, a little slower, up, keep going. I just want to point out some of the things here. So you'll see that in some areas, you'll see replace existing camera, and then you'll see reuse, like the camera cabling, the camera license, that kind of thing. So what these cameras that we're looking to replace are the ones that are so old that if you look through them, it's like you're looking through fog. And it's not a cleaning situation, it's just the camera has outlived its lifespan. So there's nothing worse as a principal or as a security person or even sometimes a superintendent or SBO that when you're looking, trying to look through a camera lens that is either pointed the wrong direction or you can't hardly see anything because it's so clouded. And so we went through and identified every camera that could be a potential security concern, and we're replacing every camera because, we told the community that through the bond money, we're going to do this once and do it right and be done. So if you keep going down, you'll see there shouldn't be any area of the school outside of classrooms, locker rooms, and restrooms that are not covered. And then if you keep going down, keep going. Oh, you might have to scroll to the right just a little bit so they can see okay, keep going. Keep going. So you'll see the final price on this is $154,000. I think we had $150,000 in our budgetary item for that. Actually, as it broken down, we have $1 million set aside in the contract for security items, which would include cameras, door access, et cetera. So we're still well below the $1 million that we had set aside for these projects, but as you can see, it's a significant chunk of change, but it'll significantly upgrade what we currently have in place. It's also going to create a whole new mentality for our students when it comes to coming and going from school, because right now there's no notification system on any of the other doors. So when we have students, if you go up to our high school at any point of the day, you can only get in the front door, and that's if a student doesn't let you in. Our students are very trusting people, and we get mad at them for letting people in, but there's a lot of times where they'll exit. When they exit, like they might go to lunch and then after lunch go to Iowa Western. Well, they exit out of the doors. They'll exit athletic doors, the back athletic door. They exit out of doors that are closest to their car. They don't all go through the same door. So they'll exit out of the main athletic entrance, and if you happen to be standing there, they'll hold the door open for you, and you can grab the door and walk right in. We want to eliminate that. So what's going to happen is all of the exterior doors are going to have audible alarms on them, and the only door that you're going to be able to leave from to go to Iowa Western courses during the day are going to be through the office. So we're going to funnel everybody in and out of the office. Nobody's going to be able to, if any of those doors get open outside of those times or during that time period from the time school starts at 7:35 until it ends at 2:45, there will be an alarm that goes off. So our kids will probably go insane at first because they're so conditioned to just walk out whatever door they believe is closest to their car, especially on days like this where it's super cold, that when the alarms start going off and they start getting in trouble, it'll be quite entertaining. So if you want something to watch, come to the first week of school. It'll be interesting. But overall, it's going to be measurably more impactful. Right now, kids will do silly things like leave gum wrappers or rocks in doors to kind of keep them open. And if that door doesn't latch and it's unlatched for more than like, I think it's 20 seconds, our principals will get an alert to their phone saying that the door is propped open. And so they'll be able to go straight to the door and be like, oh, I see. So no longer do we have to stumble across it, because that's kind of what happens right now is somebody will say, hey, that door's propped open, you know, but that'll all go away, so.
That's what they used to have to do when I skipped out of school, so.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, does the alarm go off for a window of time and they can exit out of any door?
No,
or
no,
they
the-
still always have to go out the front door?
They'll always, well, except for the end of the day. So like
Yeah.
a dismissal and arrival will be the only two times that and then it'll reactivate during school hours.
Okay.
So like in the evening for basketball and practices and that kind of stuff, you can come in and out of the doors, but for during that school day where we have the most amount of students in our school, you will only be able to come in and out the front door, the new office entrance that's being built. So, and it's awesome for our staff because we're able to keep better tabs on you. Like right now, we don't have, I mean, it's impossible to monitor every entrance that we have. I think Joe or Mr. Vinchattel said we have, was there like 48 exterior doors? Like it's impossible to monitor all the exterior doors. So if you have kids leave, we won't even know you're gone until we get to attendance the next period, and then we're like, they're gone. How did they leave? Well, now we'll know. It'll go off, and the only way to deactivate the alarm is if you have a badge. You know, it'll also be a learning process for our staff too, because they're going to have a badge to enter and exit all the doors. Like, so that'll be something new as well. So it'll be interesting to see how many staff members will set these alarms off as they're, because a lot of times we're like, oh, I got to run out to my car, and they'll just go through the door, but they will set off the alarm. They're going to have to come back in and deactivate the alarm to then leave. So.
So there'll be like a card on the way in and on the way out.
Yep,
from
so
staff.
very similar to what they have at hospitals. So like, you know, you go to a hospital, you're in like I think about like when we had babies and you weren't allowed to leave. I mean, they had to badge you out in order to leave, so it'll be the same thing, so. Or you
How
can
loud is
exit.
it? Like when the alarms go off, is it like fully like?
I think it's pretty,
disruptive?
I think it's pretty loud, so,
And do we have cameras on all the exterior doors?
every exterior door, yep.
Okay, so if somebody is like routinely just popping through it and not caring and just going to their car,
Oh,
then.
they'll do it once,
Okay, and then,
so that'll be it.
all right.
So we'll know exactly who you are.
So at the high school, this doesn't interfere with any deliveries or?
Nope, they'll all go
Nothing
through
like
the main
that.
entrance, or we get deliveries to the main entrance, or you can deliver to other entrances, but you'll have to have somebody escort you. And like, so like our custodial staff, our maintenance staff, our kitchen staff, they load through the back loading dock. They'll just have to meet them at the door and use a badge system,
And
so.
then if there was something that was being, let's say, at the black box, you know, like they were preparing for a weekend venue at the same time as school,
Mhm.
can you isolate?
We would have the ability to, just kind of like what we do now, like our front door here at ERC is unlocked. I can, from my phone, go to any door on the system and I can manually override it and
Override.
say, manually override from now for the next 60 minutes, for the next 15 minutes. I can say I want it open from, you know, I can say deactivate alarm from this time to this time. So there's you have pretty much 100% control over it.
Any other questions? Okay, we'll move on to 7.03, AEA Memo of Understanding Addendum.
So we already have signed the AEA Memo of Understanding, which basically spells out our services for next year that we're going to be purchasing on top of the services they already provide us. And then this is, they didn't at the time know how many special education representative, like basically hours or days that we were going to be allocated based on our, the number of students we have in our district that have IEPs. So they came last week and said, well, you're going to be assigned 4 at Creft, 4 at Titan Hill. This is days per week, 2.5 at the middle school, 2.5 at the high school. The reason those numbers are the way they are is because they view the education, the special education rep services as defined around child find, which means that they are looking to identify students who are at risk or who need evaluations, who need to be placed on on IEP. So that's why you see Craft and Titan Hill get more students than what middle school and high school, because we're really not evaluating that many students for new IEPs at the middle school and high school. So that's kind of what, that's how the days that they've given us said, this is what your special education dollars that you're already getting, that's already coming to us from the state, this is what we're able to allocate to you. And then anything above that, then you purchase. And the reason we like to purchase additional time from them is because our special education reps do a lot more than just child find. You know, they're reviewing IEPs as a secondary person, as like an outside agency to review IEPs. They'll sit on IEP meetings. They just do a lot of other roles, and by us purchasing additional time from them, then we're able to say, on top of your child find services, we're also going to have you do these other roles. So if we didn't purchase that time, they would not be able to do those other roles. So the reason that we're going, last year we had 5 at Craft, 5 at Titan Hill, 5 at high school, and 4 at middle school, because she actually served a day outside. They actually took a day away from us at the high school. But every day that we buy is $27,000. And so we would like to, for this year, just keep it stagnant and say we're still going to spend about the same amount of money, and we'll just have one less day at the high school. So, and we can buy an additional day at the high school or at the middle school, but I think buying an additional day and a half, we may want to in the future look at, because this is a significant amount of money. I mean, AEA is now charging $27,000 a day. We may look at maybe seeing what other options we have, but for this next year, we're going to recommend just kind of staying status quo and then continuing to evaluate this as we move forward and see if there's a different format that we want to use. So,
Would we read this as the 136,825?
Correct.
addition? Okay,
yep.
not the total.
This can't be billed back through students with Medicaid services?
This we're paying out of our, so remember, they get 90% of our
Right.
special ed funds, we get 10%.
Mhm.
This will be our 10% that we use.
Okay.
Yep. And this is not, the Medicaid services are for direct support. These
Right.
guys are not considered direct support because they're not providing instruction or services to the student. They're more accountability and kind of discovery type of thing. They do all of our evaluations and those
Right.
types of things. So just a different, Medicaid doesn't pay for that. It pays for direct services.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, 7.04, certified contracts for 2026, 2027.
So we signed a 2-year agreement last year with teachers with the parameters that they would get every teacher would receive a flat $1,650 raise per person, plus lane movement for those who qualify academically. And then the total percentage of this wage is slightly over 2.5, what was the exact, 2.5?
2.52.
2.52%. So, but again, we had parameters that said if SSA would have come in at under 2 or over 3, that we would have renegotiated, but it came in right at 2, so we didn't have to renegotiate.
Okay. I don't have specific language for this, but 7.05, discussion regarding matters of employment conditions for employees not covered by collective bargaining agreement.
It's exempt session, not closed session, so we do not need a motion and you do not have to read anything.
Sweet. Okay, then we are going to move into Good. All right, we are returned now from closed session, and we're going to move to comments and suggestions. This is the second portion of our meeting where we open the floor to the public for anything they wish to direct to the board. We'll give it a couple minutes here. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, we were in closed session a while there, so.
Good for them for sticking with us.
we will move on to action items. 9.01, service agreement for Medicaid billing.
Mr. President, I'd like to make the motion to approve the Medicaid processing service agreement with Relay as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. Sando?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Buck?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. 9.02, high school security improvements.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the high school security upgrade agreement with Prime Security for $154,865.43.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Buck?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. 9.03, AEA memo of understanding, the addendum.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'd like to make the recommendation to approve the AEA memo of understanding addendum for $136,825.
Second.
Any final discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. These are all separate. Okay, so 9.04, certified salaries for 2026-27.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the certified contracts for the 2026-2027 school year as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. 9.05, certified professional and classified employee salaries for 2026-2027 school year.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion to approve a 2.5% increase for classified employees with a minimum of a 50-cent increase per hour.
And certified professional.
And uncertain, yep.
Yes.
Second.
Thank you.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. 9.06, administrator salaries for 2026-2027 school year.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I'd like to make the motion to approve the administrative salaries at a 2.5% increase for the 2026-2027 school year.
Second.
Any further discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. 9.07, employee request for leave, employee A.
Mr. President? I'd like
Yes.
to make the motion to approve the request for unpaid leave as presented for employee A.
Second.
Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. Employee request for leave, employee B.
So this will be a transition.
Like to
I
make
think
a
it's worded
motion.
on there.
What is it on
I'm just seeing a motion to approve the requests for leave as presented for employee B. Will that be
Yep.
good? Okay. Perfect.
Second.
Good job. Any discussion? Vote, please.
Mr. Sorensen?
Yes.
Mr. Sturm?
Yes.
Ms. Atkins?
Yes.
Mr. Bach?
Yes.
Mrs. Peterson?
Yes.
Mrs. Sandow?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes. Items of interest, future board meetings.
So we have decided we're gonna have the meeting next Monday, the special board meeting at 7 AM, is that correct? Okay, and then, otherwise we have the FY 26 budget public hearing April 6th at 6 PM. And then, again, that's the school budget hearing, school optional over there. And then the regular board meeting on April 6th at 6:30 PM, following the budget hearing.
Okay. other items on our agenda. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor